Hi guys, my name's Angelique. I'm out here today at Twin Lakes Park in Greensburg to take a look at this 2019 Kia Stinger. This is a premium all-wheel drive sedan from Smell Kia, so we're going to go ahead and check it out. So starting right in the front here, the first thing you'll probably notice is these little accents on the hood here. This is a sportier car, so there's a few features like that throughout that just make it look a little more aggressive. You do have your smaller black grills down there, your Kia emblem. Coming across to the side, this one does have the LED headlights there for you. This one also does have the nice big sporty 18-inch wheels on there. You again see some more of these chrome accents down there and on your handle here. Does have the body colored heated and powered mirrors. Coming around to the back here, you can really notice on this, it is a sedan, but it has kind of that sleek hatchback styling. Your LED taillights on the back, your Stinger, and as I mentioned, this is all-wheel drive. You have nice big dual chrome tip exhaust down there. With this red and the chrome accents, and then on top here you do have the power moonroof, so it's black. It really just gives this thing a really nice sporty look and really nice sporty feel to it. So now that we've checked out the exterior, we're going to go ahead and jump inside this Stinger. It does have the hands-free keyless entry, so as long as you have that key fob on you, you just go ahead, grab the handle. You'll see a little rectangle there, you can press that. The vehicle will beep, your mirrors will fold out, and you can go ahead and jump inside. And that works the same way for locking the vehicle. You just go ahead and shut it, press that button. You'll hear the beep, the mirrors will fold in, and everything's ready to go without even taking that key fob out of your pocket. So now we're just going to go ahead, jump inside, and grab a look at some of the interior features. So coming into the door here, it does have that nice black interior. The red with the black, I think it really makes it look even extra sporty. Up here it is a little bit of soft touch material. This one does have the leather upholstery inside, so this is all soft touch. You do have your window controls here, the one touch up and down for the front two windows. Your standard controls for your lock and unlock. Here you have your controls for your side view mirrors. Above that you have a pretty standard locking and door mechanism here. You do have the memory seats, so you can program two different seat positions right into the Stinger. And then you'll start to see some of this, and then you'll start to see some of your speakers. This one does have the premium sound system, so you have 15 of these Harman Kardon speakers throughout the vehicle. Coming down below that, you have your pretty standard storage area here, which can hold a cup or bottle. Coming to the inside here, again, you have that soft touch, but then you have some of that shinier piano black around the vents. Just a lot of contrasting black with some of your lighter accents. Just looks really sleek, really nice in here. And then you'll find some of your controls for some of your safety systems, as well as some of your basic vehicle options. So you do have the option to control the brightness of the infotainment screen in front of you here. You can see your plus or minus. And then on the far right, this is where you will find the release to open that, the cover for your fuel tank. That's a button here. And the two in the middle, you do have your lane keeping assist, so you have the option to turn that on and off. And you do have the option to turn on and off your blind spot monitoring, which we will demonstrate later. So another nice feature in this Stinger is both the driver and passenger do have power seats. So you have a lot of different options here to adjust that to your liking. And you do also get four-way power lumbar control support on these seats as well. So coming to the inside here, you do have the nice leather wrapped steering wheel, and then you'll find some of your steering wheel mounted controls. So on the left side here, this is where you're going to find most of your controls for things like if you have a smartphone connected via Bluetooth, you can call in, you can hang up, or you can do a lot of those different options. Behind that, you will find your paddle shifters on either side. This one does have the option to use those, which we will demonstrate later. And then behind that, you have your pretty standard control for your headlights. You do have the automatic headlights as well as the auto high beam assist, so you can go ahead and throw those on auto and you don't really have to worry about them. That's always nice and handy to have. On the right side here, this is where you're going to find most of your controls for the infotainment screen in front of you, as well as for your smart cruise control. So that's another one of these advanced driver assist technologies. You'll see this button here on the top left. That will run through your different menu options on the little screen in front of you. You can go into different settings, you can just view your speed or anything like that, and then you can use these little knobs here to go up and down throughout all the different options. Next to that on the top right, you will have your cruise button. It's very clearly labeled for you, So if you press that, that will turn on and off your smart cruise. And then you can, of course, use this knob on the right side to control your speed, reset, or do anything like that. You can use the one on the bottom that will cancel your cruise control. And this one over here controls the distance. So with that smart cruise control, you can adjust how closely you would like the vehicle to follow the vehicle in front of you, and you use that button here for that. Behind that on the right side, again, you have your other paddle shifter, and then behind that you have your pretty standard control for your windshield wipers. This one does have the rain sensing windshield wipers, so you can just have that set on auto as well, and they will turn on and off as needed without you having to do that manually. Coming into the middle here, the first thing you'll probably notice is this nice 8-inch LCD screen here. It is a touch screen. It's really easy to run through all your different options or just have it on home. You can view your navigation and whatever entertainment you have on. Below that, you will find your vents. I think Kia has these really cool circle vents. You can adjust them a lot of different ways. Not only do they look cool, but they are also really useful and efficient. Below that, you will find some of your buttons, your physical controls, if you're not really a fan of using the touchscreen. So in this first silver row here, this is a lot of your media controls. You'll find your button for your powering on and off the radio or Bluetooth music, and that works as your volume control. You do have your different controls to go to the radio, seek different channels or songs. And then over on the right side, you'll have some of your controls for your navigation, to use different maps, a few different settings, and favorites. Below that, you'll find your climate controls. This one does have the tri-zone climate, so in the front here, both the passenger and the driver can control their own temperature, or you can sync those up. And then of course you can control all the different modes. You can turn it off, increase or decrease your fan speed, and all those different settings, which again are both in the menu and on those control buttons. Below that, you'll notice this little storage cubby here. This middle console has a lot of that shiny piano black. You can just go ahead and push up on the silver handle, and this is kind of where you'll find your little power hub. So starting from the left, first you have a 12-volt plug here. It has a little cover which you can just flip open. So that's kind of the cigarette lighter style charger. If you do want to plug in a phone charger or anything, you have that option. You do have an auxiliary port. Of course, this is equipped with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration, as well as Bluetooth. But if you would prefer connecting a media device via auxiliary cord, you do have that option here. And then, of course, your standard USB port. You have a nice little cubby storage area here. This is really great for change, or if you have a small wallet, you can toss it there. And then you'll notice this little weird symbol here with a light. This one does have the wireless charging pad. So this whole right side is basically a little pad dedicated to wireless charging. So as long as you have a smartphone that is equipped with wireless charging, all you have to do is throw it on that pad. This light will come on and your phone will charge without having to deal with any wires or cords or anything like that. Then you can just close up this little cubby, push up, it closes nicely, and you don't even have to see anything that's going on in there. Coming below that, this one does have the pretty standard shifter knob. It's nice and wide, your button on the side to shift through all your different transmission things there. This does have the 8-speed transmission, so you can go with the paddle shifters or just use your standard transmission. Below that, you'll find the biggest button here is your parking brake, so that's really easy to turn on and off. And then you have a few different options here. Your auto hold, which if you have that engaged, of course the vehicle will not move forward. That's really handy to use on hills or anything. And then you have your knob for your drive mode. So as you shift through those, you will actually see it on the screen in front of you, as well as on your big 8-inch LCD screen. So it has 5 different options. You can be in Smart, Eco, Comfort, which is your pretty normal standard, Sport, and then Custom, where you can actually go into your settings and you can adjust things to your exact liking. Beside that, you have your button here for your traction control. You can turn that on and off, also pretty standard. You do have 2 fairly large cup holders here. They do have that silver outline, so they're really easy to see against this nice shiny black. And then below that, you'll find even more physical buttons for a few different controls. This being the premium model, you do get front heated and ventilated seats. So on both the driver and passenger side, you'll see these little knobs here. There's small diagrams to show you which one is which. So if you press that up, the buttons will light up orange, and you have 3 different settings for heated seats. And if you press it down, the buttons will light up blue, and you also have 3 different settings for your ventilated seats. Next to that, this one does also have the heated steering wheel, so you can just turn that on and off there. You also have some of your parking sensors, so you can turn that on and off with this button here. And then you do have the auto engine idle, which basically just turns the engine off during if you're at a stoplight or anything. It just gets you a little bit better fuel mileage, but you can disengage that if you would like. So behind these buttons, this is just a nice little convenient storage area for pens. It's tucked in there, kind of out of the way, but it's a really good use of that space right in front of your big middle storage console here. So you can just go ahead, you can pop this open. The lid opens the whole way. You do have this little tray in here which you can take out, but that's really nice if you want to throw gum or your wallet or whatever you want in easy reach there. And then below that, it's a pretty nice size storage for the middle console here. It doesn't go down too deep, so you won't be losing things in there or anything. And it does have kind of like a soft velvety padding on the side. So if you put electronics or anything in there, you don't have to worry about them getting scratched up. So coming across the front dash here, the big screen in the middle is kind of pulled forward, so there's a lot of depth and a lot of different cool lines in this front dash area. This is the softer touch material that goes all the way over to those shiny black vent outlines we talked about earlier. And then coming down, you will find your glove box. It's really easy to open. You just pop open the handle on the side, pops down. It's pretty thick. It's a pretty heavy duty glove box. If you do want to put some important things in there like an iPad or anything valuable, you can put it in there, shut it, and then you can lock it. So no one will be able to open that without the key. Going across to the passenger side door, kind of has the same layout, the same speakers you will see, 15 of those Harman Kardon speakers throughout. You have the nice little handle, your standard control for your window, lock and unlock, and the same storage area with the option to throw a bottle or cup in there. So coming up top here, the headliner is kind of this lighter tan material, so it's really easy to see a lot of your controls up here. You do have your pretty standard cubby for sunglasses or reading glasses. This is really padded in here, so that's one thing that's really nice. You won't have your glasses rattling around in here, which can get super annoying. Behind that, you have some of your standard overhead lights. Those are pretty easy to turn on and off. You can, of course, control when those come on if you want them to open when the doors are open or not. And then right in the middle here, you have your control for the powered moonroof. Right now we have the sunshade open, so if you just go ahead and you press back on that, the moonroof will open all the way up for you. And then if you press forward, you'll see that it'll go ahead automatically, close up the whole way here, and the sunshade will come. You can stop that by just pressing once on it, so you can have that kind of half open, whatever to your liking. You can also press up on the button instead of pulling back, and that sunroof will just pop open a little bit for you without opening the whole way. And then you just pull down and that'll close right up for you. So you have a few different options with that nice moonroof above you. So coming up right to this rear view mirror here, this does have the home link, so you have the option to program in like garage doors, so you can open those up right with the buttons. No need to get a third party or external opener. And then you may notice kind of the little southeast, the little diagram up in the corner there. You can turn that on and off, but that just gives you another little directional thing that's always right up on that mirror for you. So jumping into the back seat here, of course this is kind of a sport sedan, hatchback style vehicle. It's not going to be a large crossover SUV, but you do have enough room back here to haul some passengers. I'm 5'7", and you can see that I do have some headroom. I have enough leg room. It also helps that these seats are that same nice leather that you have in the front, so they are really soft, they're really comfortable, they sit really far back, so that really helps add to the comfort in this back seat. Along the doors in the back seat, you will find some more of those speakers, so it is nice to have that same entertainment quality that you have in the front seat. You do also get little grab handles if you want to throw some change or something in there, and then of course your little storage cubby down bottom. You can throw a bottle, or if you just want to tuck a phone in there or book, whatever you need, you do have a little bit of extra storage space. On the back of the front seats, you do have netting on both the driver and passenger. I know some vehicles, they only put it on one, so it is nice to have those two options here. You can store your maps in here, or driving directions, any traveling papers. This is a really handy place to put those. In the middle here, with that tri-zone climate, you do have two vents back here, those same customizable circle vents that are super fun to play with. And you have your control in the middle, so these backseat passengers do have some control over the temperature. They can set it how they feel comfortable. Below that, you do have two additional charging options. So on the right side, you can flip that cap open and you will find a standard USB port. It's really nice if you need to plug your phone in here, and then you can just tuck this phone in there and it'll stay out of the way and charging. On the left side, you have another one of those 12 volt, so another one of those cigarette style plugs. If you don't have the regular USB, you can charge one of those and that'll charge your phone or whatever else you need back here. If you do only have two passengers back here, you can of course pull this little tab in the middle. That will pull down a nice little armrest for you, and that provides two additional cup holders here for you in the middle. And back behind that little tab, you will find the anchors for car seats. So if you do have smaller children, it's super easy to find all these different anchors and latches all throughout. It's really easy to put some car seats back here. So coming around to the back here, what's really nice about this Stinger is it does have that normal sedan look, but whenever you go ahead and you pop this trunk, or hatch if you'd like to call it that, you can see that it has more of that hatchback styling cargo. So this goes really far back in here, definitely gives you more cargo room than a normal trunk would in a normal sedan. If you do lift up, you'll find a little handle, you can pop that right up. You'll find room for your spare tire, your jack. So inside here, right on to the left here, you'll see you do have a little release here. It'll tell you fuel filler door manual release handle. So if your fuel door does ever get locked up, you can just go ahead and pop this hatch here and pull it that way. You do also have some little cargo tie-down hooks all the way around here. There's two back here and then one on either side, so you can tie cargo nets, or if you need to tie down some gear, you do have options for that. Right on the back of your seats, you do have the tethers for car seats. You can do 3 different seats back there. So if you do need a little more cargo space, all you have to do is go around to the back seat, pull up the handles on either side. And then once you lay those flat, you can see that this cargo space goes pretty much all the way up to that front row there. And if you do have something maybe a little taller or something in here, you can pop this right off. You just push up on either side there, unhook it up here, and this is easily removable if you need to do so. So now we're gonna go ahead and get this thing out on the road. The Stinger is of course known for being one of those sportier vehicles, really fun to drive. So we're gonna go ahead, test out how much we can get with those safety features and all the different driving modes. We do have that 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine in here. It produces 255 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. So you can get plenty of power out of this vehicle. You can see if I do hit the gas, it will kind of throw you back in your seat a little bit. It does have that get up and go with it. Now I do have it in sport mode right now. That of course is just supposed to give you kind of that sportier driving feel. And again, like I mentioned, you do have the option to shift it manually. So you can use the paddle shifters, or if you put your transmission shifter here, if you move it over to the left, that will kind of put you in control. And then you can actually just go ahead and manually shift up through these gears, and it's really easy to pick up speed in here. It is an 8-speed transmission, so you definitely do have the option to throw it over there. You can manually shift through it, and that will definitely give you a more exciting driving feel. So for the lane keeping assist, once we get up to speed, it will turn green, and that lets you know that it's registering the lines and you are going a speed that it can engage. So as you can see, if I start to purposely drift over these lines, even if I'm letting go of the steering wheel, you can see that the car always wants to correct itself and pull itself back into the lane. Of course, this is just for demonstration purposes. You should always keep your hands on the wheel, and the vehicle will let you know that. If you are consistently taking your hands off the wheel, it will give you an audible beep and let you know to get your hands back on the wheel. So in this Stinger, it is of course a smaller sedan, so it does sit pretty low to the ground, but that's actually really nice for driving because it really hugs the ground. You really feel connected. You don't worry about tipping over or sliding around or anything like that. So it is definitely a fun drive. With these seats, they kind of put you back, they lean up a little bit, so you do feel like you're in a sports car. It's really comfortable sitting in here. Even though it is smaller, you don't really feel closed up or anything like that. So with the blind spot monitoring, we are in the right lane, so you can see as vehicles approach my blind spot in the left lane, the little orange diagram in the mirror will light up. When there is someone in my blind spot, if I do turn on the turn signal, it will flash at me and give me an audible warning that it is not safe to cross over into that lane. So that's a nice little safety feature that's always nice to have. It is very difficult to know when a vehicle is in your blind spot, or if it's a large truck, to know when they have cleared that blind spot. Once there are no more vehicles in your blind spot, of course, double check in your mirrors, and then you know it is safe to go ahead and move over. So while you are driving with this big screen, it is really easy to just go ahead. You can press on your main home screen and that will make your navigation. It'll make it full screen for you. You can see all your different settings here, or you can also just go back to the menu and your entertainment will play over there. But navigation is always pretty handy to have in vehicles like this. You can go ahead and you can adjust things like your volume. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can change the measurement settings, and then if you press this menu, it'll bring up all the different traffic options, your route. So it really gives you a lot of different details if you're someone that travels a lot or commutes for work. It's really nice to have that navigation built right in. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a U-turn here and test out the turning radius. It is a smaller car, so I do expect it to be pretty good at making these U-turns. That was a pretty tight turn. It stayed well within the lines, so it is really easy to maneuver. If you live in a place with high traffic or anything, it's really easy to fly this car around. So another driver assist technology you have in this Stinger is the smart cruise control. So what that means is you can set the cruise control like in a traditional vehicle, but you can adjust the following distance that you would like the vehicle to maintain. So right now, if I do press cruise, you'll see green cruise will come up on your screen. That lets you know it's engaged. If we get up to speed and we go ahead and we press set, we can set that cruise control. You can, of course, adjust that. So we have it set at the 55 miles per hour. And then you can adjust the following distance. So if you use this button here, you'll see two little vehicle diagrams up top with the speed you have set. And you can see as I click this button, those little orange lines get smaller and then I can go back. So you have 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that way the vehicle will adjust its speed depending on how close the vehicle is in front of it. You never really have to brake or do anything like that. It will maintain that speed and adjust to traffic patterns. So as we approach these vehicles in front of us, you can see that I do still have the speed set to 50, but it is adjusting its speed. If I kind of lower the distance, the vehicle will allow itself to get closer to that vehicle, but it will never go within this distance I set. Some of the safety features that we don't always get to demonstrate, the Stinger does have that front collision warning system. So if you are driving along and a vehicle in front of you suddenly brakes, it will hit its brakes and kind of try to bring you to a stop to prevent a collision. And it does have the same rear traffic cross collision warning. So those sensors will beep if there is someone coming behind you, just to kind of help you avoid any crashes or accidents where possible. So another nice feature with these mirrors, whenever I put the vehicle into reverse, the mirrors will go ahead and they'll automatically tilt down to help you see the lines behind you. And you do, of course, have the big backup camera that comes up on your 8-inch screen in front of you. So as we start to back up, you can see it does have the predictive lines. As I turn the steering wheel, it will tell me where the vehicle is going to end up. That blue line kind of just stays straight behind you. As we start to back up, just for demonstration purposes, this of course is not a parking spot, but if I do approach the vehicle behind me, as I get closer, you'll hear it start to beep, and right on that infotainment screen in front of you, a little diagram will appear to let you know where the danger is coming from. The closer you get to the red, it'll beep, it'll change colors, and it lets you know you're getting really close to something behind you and to stop going backwards. So that's just really nice to have that extra set of eyes. Backup cameras are always super handy, even in smaller vehicles like this. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of this 2019 Kia Stinger Premium All-Wheel Drive Sedan. If you'd like to check out this vehicle and more, visit us at Smell Kia right off Route 30 in Greensburg, or online at smellkia.com.